All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming for the Seattle stands with the Arctic 30. Candlelight vigil today. There's been actions all around the world. Do you know how many?
Right now we're estimating, I think, like thousands and thousands of people have taken action today.
All right. Yeah.
It's amazing. Look at the pictures on Greenpeace Facebook right now, or maybe the Save the Arctic Facebook. You can see them from around the world. It's incredible.
Yeah. So, I'd like to start by first honoring the Duwamish tribe on whose traditional lands we are standing right now. And I'd also like to honor the indigenous peoples up in the Arctic who are suffering the threats from the melting from climate change and the threats from oil drilling and mineral extraction and industrial fishing. So we have the Nenets, the Khanty, the Event, and the Chukchi in Russia, and the Aleut, the Yupik, and the Inuit in Alaska, and the Inuit in Canada. So, you know, they're the ones who have been living up in the Arctic for thousands of years, and they're the ones who are most threatened right now. So I just wanted to honor that. And there's a quote that I love by an unknown author. And it says, the human spirit needs places where nature has not been rearranged by the hand of man. So this is not just about climate change. This is it's also about protecting the sacred, protecting those special areas in nature, special habitats that we need to keep untouched. And the Arctic, especially places like the Arctic that are irreplaceable. So I'm going to pass it now to Emily Johnson, who last year helped to organize a vigil for the Arctic. There were two drill ships were right over there last year in June, about to head to the Arctic. And we held a vigil here for that. So here's Emily.
Oh, Emily.
Do I do anything to this?
No.
Okay. So I spent some time today trying to find an accurate metaphor for how crazy it is that to use the effects of climate change to drill for oil and therefore accelerate climate change.
Crazy.
I decided that it was a little bit like using a wounded child for target practice. That gives some visceral idea of the visceral sense of the pristine nature of the environment and the fact that its wounds make it much more vulnerable to our depredations. But the problem is that although it gives a sense of the vulnerability of the pristine environment, it gives no sense of our vulnerability. In truth, that wounded child is the blood supply for every one of us. Because the Arctic climate, often referred to as the world's air conditioner, is essential to climate stability all over the planet. Ice melt and the thawing of the so-called permafrost are a danger to every life on Earth. Scientists have made it clear that we have at most 5 years to turn this ship around and greatly reduce our carbon emissions. If we want to accomplish that in 5 years, we have to start now. The Greenpeace activists are doing the work that all of us need to be doing by risking their lives to bring attention to this issue. We know who the pirates are. It's the guys with the guns who seized the ship and imprisoned and shot at peaceful and unarmed protesters. Those are the pirates. The rest of us have to be the leaders. We stand in solidarity with the Arctic 30 and will honor their sacrifices by continuing the work that matters so profoundly to all of us. If we cherish this world at all, nothing matters more. This is Chrissy.